Hello, in this video, I wish to describe how we can possibly make student feedback more actionable. Now, the act of giving feedback is a difficult one. So as teachers, we tend to be quite hopeful or quite wishful, and we provide students with possibly too much generic, evaluative style feedback. So things like you need to improve the structure of your paragraph, or you need to add more detail. So what follows is an attempt to make the feedback we give students more concrete and therefore more easy for them to action. This echoes the Education Endowment Foundation report, a marked improvement, which states the use of targets to make marking as specific and actionable as possible is likely to increase pupil progress. So there's 5 actions being identified by a guy called Tom Sheridan. I put a link to the blog where he describes these in a bit more detail. And I just want to start by pointing out these are not intended to be written into student books. I don't imagine us writing in R3 into a student book. This is very much about helping us as teachers structure the feedback that we give to students. So the first one's about redrafting or redoing it. So it's asking students to rewrite a paragraph but include more connectors, for example. The next one is very much a skills focused one, where we ask the students to rehearse a process or repeat a process until they get better at that particular skill. The next one is about revisiting and responding. So this is about maybe quite a similar one to the previous one, but this is very much about knowledge and is about providing the student with more questions on the same topic to help them deepen their understanding of it. A classic example of this would be providing some students extension work if they seem to have mastered a particular idea. The next one is relearning and retesting, which sounds very much like asking the students to do more retrieval practice on the content before they're going to be tested on that content again. Tom Sheridan suggests that rather than asking students in history, say, to restructure a paragraph, he suggests that if we give them the facts to then memorize and then test them on that would have a bigger impact on the quality of the essay in the long run. And the final one is research and record. So this is about having students research and deepen and widen their understanding of a particular topic. So I just want to try to exemplify this and what it might look like in our written feedback that we give to students. So the first one we draft is simply rewrite this paragraph and identify the cause and effect. So we're giving them something very specific to then follow on and do. And the next one is a rehearsal one. So the scale in the graph was not even, so that's the evaluative part. Please practice drawing the scale even with this data. I think this is quite a nice one because this reminds us of something else that was said in the Education Enhancement Foundation report. Errors resulting from misunderstandings are best addressed by providing hints or questions which lead pupils to underlying principles. So we can see that this is not improving the task that's went before. It's very much about looking forward and having them practice a particular skill. You know, that set of data provided there might be an easier one than they've just done. But again, it gets them back to practice on the skill to help move them forward. Next one is revisit. So you've not converted your to seconds in your answer. Please do so and recalculate. So they're going back to the task. They've got a specific thing to work on, and then they respond. Next one's relearn. So look at this diagram of blood passing through the heart. Summarize it in your own words. So it's just getting them to learn that material over again in response to gaps seen within their work. Again, this is a different task to what had previously been evaluated by the teacher, but it focuses on the underlying principle behind it. And the final one is that research task. So research the idea, factors that limit photosynthesis for homework. At the start of next lesson, I will ask you to improve your exam answers. So that just tries to give some examples of what it might look like across a selection of different tasks. But obviously you could see within those responses there, you could have on one task, the students doing different things to meet different needs. So in summary, to make feedback more actionable, once we've evaluated the student work for their current understanding, we need to consider which action best suits their current need. So we'll make a selection. And then I think we just need to remember that the feedback doesn't necessarily have to lead to an improvement of the task or the work that you've evaluated, but it has to go back to the idea. When we write it, we should try to avoid evaluative comments and reconstitute it as precisely what they now need to do. And just going to make sure that that feedback that we give there has enough detail to be supportive so the students can then carry it out.